Shalom. All praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS. Salutations to the Akim out there, laboring in his truth and sincerity across the four winds. I'm Yalak Mar'ah from the Shepherd of Berea camp. This article was sent out through the Spirit, power Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, a priest of Hawan Mayim. Salutations to the Akim and the Shepherd of Berea camp. Once again, which this article reads, 76-year-old black woman released from prison amid pandemic sent back for missing phone calls while taking a class. So the name of this woman is Gwen Levi, and she's around 4,500 federal inmates who were released from prison and sent to home confinement as a precautionary health measure during the coronavirus pandemic. Now the mother and grandmother is back behind bars for a few hours of one day. She was taking a class that caused her to miss phone calls from her supervisor. It's a story with all hallmarks of the classic tale of a person with a checkered past trying to do better in a heartless system designed to see them fail. The them is you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the Hebrew Israelites. And the ones who are judging us are the Edomites. Now, this woman's name is Levi. It's funny, her last name is Levi, which goes back to the word Levi, which means lawyer, which means joined to the Most High, which the Levites were actually given the actual laws, all right, when you read the book of Leviticus, all right, of the Most High. So they're actually using their law, okay, against the ones who was given the law, which is the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. As the scriptures say that the Most High showeth his statutes, all right, and his laws unto Jacob. And he has dwelt so with no other nation. And this is what Esau is using against us. So the first scripture I want to grab is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. And I'll get straight to the point. It says, verse 11, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. So she's a 76-year-old woman. So that's something feeble. You so-called blacks, Latinos, even if she wasn't 76, they look at, no one is, the scriptures say, who shall ask to see how thou doest? You know, we're not of a worthy thing for anybody to miss. You know, no one is going to cry about these situations. All right. So it says, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble was found to be nothing worth. So their power is coming from what? Their law. Their power is coming from their law. And if their strength is their law and we're feeble, then guess what? We will always get thrashed and destroyed by their law. All right. And that's pretty much what this article is showing you. All right. Is that their law is able to what? Is able to put a person who missed a phone call while taking a class back into prison at the age of 76. So their law is that strong where it'll show no mercy. It'll take a 76-year-old woman and put her back into prison for missing a phone call. All right. Now, when you go into the story, all right, she did 16 years. All right. Out of the 24 years. All right. And that was for a sentence for conspiring to sell at least a kilogram of heroin. So, you know, looking into the word conspiring, it means make secret plans. So she didn't even get the chance to do it, you know, according to what the word conspiring means, right? That's like you planning to do something, right? And she did 16 years for that out of a 24-year sentence. All right. And they had moved her. And she served 16 years. So, you know, if we could subtract that from 76. So he's saying at 60 years old, she was conspiring. Now, I don't know. I'm not there. But, you know, conspiring, a 60-year-old conspiring to sell at least a kilogram of heroin. You know what Esau likes to do sometimes, if you're in the vicinity of a household or area, he'll just lock everybody up. But I'm not going to add to the story. All right, I'm just going to take from what they're saying. It says, and had moved in with her 94-year-old mother in Baltimore, Maryland, after she was released last year. By all accounts, she was doing her best to be a productive and law-abiding member of society. She volunteered at prison advocacy organizations. She was building her relationships with her children and grandchildren, and she took computer word processing classes in Baltimore Innes Harbor in hopes that it will help her find a good-paying job. Of course, it was that last move that led her to being reincarcerated on June 12th after being out of prison for a year. According to an incident report for the Federal Bureau of Prisons, Levi's supervisor was unable to contact her for a few hours that she was in class. Levi's public defender, Sapna Michandani, said that there was no question she was in class, but as far as the Bureau was concerned, that wasn't the case because the incident reported listed her failure to answer phone calls while trying to secure some kind of her future as an escape. So that's how strong the law is. It doesn't equate anything. Any failure to answer a phone call, no matter the age, no matter how much time you did, no matter that it was something that was allegedly conspiring, I don't say allegedly, that was conspiring to do something, and you came out, no matter all the advocates, the stuff you did in prison, and no matter all the good behavior you did, right? That missing that phone call, okay, that law that they put, that strength right there, just smashes you. It disregards everything. All right? And this is why we say we need the Lord. Why would we want to deal with a man that will actually do this, that will operate with this law like this? This is crazy. It didn't matter that she was in a class. It didn't matter if she was, fell and couldn't, answer. She's 76. She couldn't get up the toilet. It didn't matter. None of it mattered. If you missed the call, you was going back to jail. That's how strong their law is. There's no mercy in between it. There's no wiggle room or nothing. All right. But let's keep going. All right. Let me actually get this scripture real quick. This is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. This is grievous. And they prescribe this. All right. That's why when you go to law, you got to get your doctor's degree and what doctorates. All right. To doctify, doctors, prescribe things. Okay. That's what they do. Doctors in the medical field, doctors in the law field, doctor's degree. Prescribe. They write things down. All right. And both of them prescribe what? Grievous things, grievous medicines. Take this jab. Grievous laws to hurt you. All right. And the Most High said, woe unto them. All right. So it will be destruction unto them. All right. So Psalms 58:3. No, Psalms 58:1. Do you judge uprightly? Is this somewhat, how you should rule the people? Do you think that's the right way to rule? Psalms 58:1. Do you indeed speak righteously? O congregation, do you judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Is this an upright judgment? Do you think that this is the right way to go about things? If someone miss a call by taking a class to better themselves, all right, and then they got to just get thrown back in prison. What is that? Is that a right decree that they did 16 years for conspiring at the age of 76? You got to keep reiterating these things because this is the Terminator. And here it is. They're setting up this world with artificial intelligence. They're setting up this world with artificial. These are humans that are already showing, this also shows you who this man is. Because it says in the curses in Deuteronomy that he shall not regard old or young. He's a fucking algorithm AI bot. And he's programming actual artificial intelligence himself. So if they're already like this in their mind, what do you think the machines that they're programming is? What do you think algorithms, how they gonna see you? How they would judge this whole system? And you can't say that they don't. They got devices out here, you know? If you got an iPhone, they got that device on there where she talks to you. I don't want to say it because I don't know if my thing is even activated. It might just pop up and say it. Even the other device, you know, if brothers got those things at home that, you know, control the lights and stuff like that. YouTube guy, there's algorithms all over the place. Now, the point of the matter is that if this is their insight on how actual people, all right, within the law system are operating, then what the hell you think is going to operate, you know, when it's an algorithm, when it's artificial intelligence. It's Deuteronomy 28 and 50. A nation of fierce countenance which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. All right. Who is this? Who is this? Who is this person? Who is this talking about? What nation had a fierce countenance and shows not regard to the persons of old, nor show favor to the young? You see? Let's go back. It says, Merchadani told the Post that she was told this was the case because a client could have been robbing a bank. They're going to treat her as if she was robbing a bank. But Levi wasn't robbing the bank. She was taking a class. I feel like I was attempting to do all the right things, Levi said in a statement released by Merchadani. Breaking rules is not who I am. I tried to explain what happened and to tell the truth. At no time did I think I wasn't supposed to go to that class. I apologize to my mother and my family for what this is doing to them. Levi isn't the only person to be sent back to prison after being released amid the pandemic. According to the Post, former President Donald Trump, who often touted himself as some great prison reformer, was celebrated by some for freeing federal inmates to protect them from the COVID-19 infection. However, in his final days in office, a Justice Department memo was issued calling for nearly all the released inmates to return back to prison after the health crisis ended. You see, unrighteous decrees. You know, the little thing, the fine print, you know, the shit that they say, did you read the fine print? You know, after all of this. So now here it is. This was the devil. He used Lil Wayne. He used all of these characters to come out and speak out. And yeah, you know, and Kanye and, you know, doing this prison reform. But then in the damn fine print is, listen, after the health crisis, you got to go back. You got to go back. This is the part where I remind you that Trump had no problem pardoning federal inmates who were allies of his soldiers who killed unarmed civilians, and the Maryland cop who got off on sicking her dog on the homeless people, while people like Levi had to go back into the lockup. So what is this saying? This is saying that what? That their law doesn't apply to them. They don't judge uprightly. Obviously, they don't judge uprightly. You know, there's a scripture in Matthews where Yahweh Shah asked Peter, he said, let me see if I get that. This is Matthew 17:25. He saith, yes. And when he was coming to the house, Yahweh Shah prevented him, saying, what thinkest thou, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or of strangers? So the question is, who would they charge? Who would they lay charges to? All right, because taking custom is a charge, you know, you got to pay a fee. You know, charges is also could be sentences. All right, your fines, you got to pay with what? Your time in prison. So who would they lay a charge to? Of their own children, of strangers. Now I'm not trying to change the scripture, but what is basically I'm trying to bring to light, through the Spirit, is that this question was asked by Yahweh Shai in regards to what the tribute, all right, of who would they make to pay? Would they make their own children pay, or of strangers? Verse 26, and Peter saith unto him, of strangers. Yahweh Shai say unto them, then are the children free. Now why would Peter answer of strangers, and Yahweh Shai, then the children are free? Because notwithstanding, lest we should offend them, go thou to the sea and cast the hook and take up the fish that first cometh up, and when thou hast opened his mouth, and shall find a piece of money, that take and give unto them for me and thee. So who is the children? Okay, who was the strangers? Well, Yahweh Shai and Peter was the strangers. When really, okay, things are supposed to be free, but these are the ones that's in charge. And with that being said, this is why they're able to be pardoned. The scriptures have to align. They line up for what's going on in this world for, those that, because these are things that can get you emotionally, pretty much emotionally, they could rise you up, because it is injustice. It's not done evenly. But the reason why it's not done evenly is because one, people was the children. You know how they say, we're all Americans, or we're on one nation. No, we're not. We're not the same. We're not equal. All is not equal, and you're able to see that through what? Their strength, which is the law. Okay, because the law is always against us, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, and which this man is not showing mercy. But don't worry, because the Most High isn't going to show mercy to this man. All right, the Lord said, Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 5. It says, let's start from 3. For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest, who shall try your works and search out your counsels. That's talking about you so-called Edomites. Because you know what? Start from 6 and 1. Hear therefore, ye kings, and understand and learn, ye that be judges of the earth. Give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations. So we already know who rules the people, all right, and glory in the multitude of nations. Right now, you Edomites that are in power, and power is given of you of the Lord, the Most High, and sovereignty, your freedom to travel around and do what you want. But he's going to try your works, and he's going to search out all your counsels. Because being ministers of his kingdom, this is the Lord's kingdom. He made it. Ye have not judged upright. You ain't judged upright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of the Most High. You showed the Bible, you inaugurate your presidents on it, but you do all the laws outside the Bible. You don't walk after the counsel of the Most High. All right. You set up other deities, other gods. All right. Then you take situations and you don't even judge them up fairly. All right. When the Israelites start to rule, when we put out the law, statutes, and commandments, we cannot break them as well as the heathen can't break them. We ain't going to be telling the heathen something or the other nation something. All right. And we ain't going to be doing it. It's not going to work that way. That's not how it's going to be operated. All right. That's not how it's going to be operated. Like, for example, we ain't going to be eating pork and then saying you can't eat pork, or stealing and you can't steal, or, taking your woman, right. And having sex with your woman and then saying you can't commit adultery. That's not what we're going to be doing. All right. But you did all those things plus more, and everything under the, shit that's still being discovered. All right. Because there's a lot of things that's really being discovered about you, man. It says, horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places. Who's in high places? The ones who sits on the judgment seat. The judgment seat, the one who sits on the high seat looking down, is the judge who's writing these laws, who's looking down on what? The ones that he considered feeble. And he's putting this heavy ass law. That's why the Lord said, what? How was the hammer of the earth broken down? Because, a judge lays down a hammer. All right. It says, how was the hammer broken asunder? Because you lay down all the rules of the whole damn earth. Jeremiah 50:23. How was the hammer of the earth cut asunder and broken? How was Babylon become a desolate among the nations? Which is America, man. You're the hammer of the whole earth. All right. You slamming your order. Boom, boom, boom. And everybody quiet down. When you want to bomb Palestinians for 10 days and then you slam down a hammer, stop, boom. Everybody got to stop fight. They got to stop fighting now. But you slapped them for 10 days, drop bombs on their school, but then after that, I said stop, boom. Everybody got to chill out. You the hammer of the whole earth. So going back to Wisdom of Solomon, the 6th chapter, for sharp judgment shall to be in them the high places. The judge, you. All right. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be tormented. So the Most High have enough. Most High mercy is so strong. He'll pardon the meanest of people. But you going to be mightily tormented. All right. Because you didn't show mercy. You didn't show mercy. All right. You didn't show mercy to the old. You didn't show mercy to the young. All right. You set up the conditions. First of all, some of the stuff, a lot of the reasons why so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans did what they did, although it doesn't make it right at all for any of the things we did, right? But you know why? We watched the movie Snowfall. We seen exactly how you created conditions, all right? And we seen exactly what you made and designed and did your deals with Satan to make us see. Because when you watch Snowfall, which is in California, and you watch movies like Them, which was in California, all right, you see all the mind manipulation tricks that you've been trying to break us with. And then when Jake stood strong and finally, grew up in those areas that you wanted to break us from, all right, you deprived it from all the resources that you had when you was there, made it a poverty land, and then put drugs as an opportunity to live a well-off life and to be like you, go to schools like you. So those conditions, all right, was set up by you. All right, now it was always a test. It's of course from the Most High, but even within doing those things and you knowing that you set that up, you still ain't show no mercy. It says, James chapter 2, verse 13, for he shall have judgment without mercy that have showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. So you're going to have judgment without mercy, Esau. That's why in Luke the 16th chapter, it shows you what you did. It shows you all over the book. That's you read us reading this book. I don't see how people say Egyptology don't expose this man. It don't expose this man. It exposes basically. Only thing Egyptology does, right, is they took a true story, right, and twisted it. It wasn't a fable. They just added the wrong names. They took situations where, oh yeah, this person was going to do. They took the stories, but they it's like they just added new names. They want to say, somebody killed their brother. Seth killed one of their brother, and Cain and Abel. They Osiris, Isis, and this. This was the Most High, and this, that, and the third. But when you read the Bible, it gives you the complete story. It gives you real live individuals during that time period, which is the Roman Empire. These guys don't have no prophecy. They don't give you no, they don't settle into none of that. All right. So Luke, the 16th chapter, show you that there was a man oppressing and winning, and he was giving crumbs. He was oppressing Lazarus, and Lazarus was begging for crumbs. And then on the flip side, Lazarus was taken care of, and then this man was begging for a drop of water. But you're not going to get that drop of water, man. You're not going to get that drop of water. Okay? You know. But more or less, you know, I ended off from here. This is just another article, something to view, man, and see. It just is more exposure of hey, you know, no stone gonna go unturned. You're gonna see who this devil is, and once again, why would you, you know, why a lot of our people they will pull away from us. But you pull away from us and wanting us and following the Lord's statutes and commandments of the Most High. All right, we're sinners in this society, but the laws make sense. You cannot say, I don't want to follow the Lord. You cannot say that. The laws make sense. You should want to follow the laws. This would make this whole place a better place. But you rather be in a situation where you underneath this man's laws, where if you conspired, if you planned something, right? You got locked up, and then after you got locked up and did the time for whatever you conspired or planned to do, right? You get out and you miss a phone call because you were taking a class, you know, to do better in this society and get a job, and you got to go back to jail. You rather be underneath that. You know, that shit don't make no sense, man. That really don't make no sense. You know, and it's like, you know, we're bringing this out, how injustice and wicked this person is. But damn, shit, you making it hard for us to even say it, because shit, you won't even you rather be underneath it. You should be speaking out against this. You should be saying, nah, man, this is wicked. You should be saying, nah, I want to be underneath the mercies of the Most High. Because the Lord is going to show mercy. All right? Let's get that. Lamentations. You should want to be underneath the mercies of the Most High. You should rather want to serve him, because he'll pardon you. Even if you did wrong, the Lord will pardon you. Lamentations 3:32. But though he cause grief, yet will he have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. It says, for he doth not afflict willingly, nor grieve the children of men. It says, you know, this is it, Salakia. Lamentations 3:22. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because of his compassions fail not. So while we aren't destroyed, dead, is the Most High's mercies. You think this is the first time they wanted to jab us up? You don't think that they did stuff in our food, water, after slavery? You don't think that there's anything that they did that they're still doing? Cell phones, they probably got certain towers in certain areas. If we was to really landscape, if you was to really be able to see, Google map your fucking area and see all the shit in your area, outside of the drugs, outside of the music, outside of the education, the food, the waves, the churches, the different demonic activity as well, witchcraft, people just putting curses, you think, all right, we there's a lot going on that the Most High have shown us mercy and we not consumed. I can't grasp it, or we just know that these are the different elements that this man can tap into. All right, but that they're happening on a high vibration every day. And it says it's because his compassions fail not. So why not want to be underneath this? This is the reason why you're alive. And everybody know that, because they always had that moment, man. Yo, man, the only reason why I'm alive, man, it had to be God, man, because, yo, man, I almost got killed, I almost got shot. Like, everybody got a story. Of course. So why would we not want to be underneath that? You know. Anyway, I don't want to be too long with it. I feel like I already have. It's a lot to keep going in on this situation, but yeah, man, this is why this society is going to crumble, man, because it ain't matter of fact, this is why it's going to crumble, man, because there's no mercy here. What is it? Because you have, it's a scripture, I think it says, because you have done this to your brother Jacob. Is it oppress your brother Jacob? This is it. Obadiah 1:10. You know Obadiah is your end, fool. You gotta end this off. You gotta end this off with your you gotta end this off. For thy Obadiah 1:10, but for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. This is why we say this is gonna be the end of this. This is why we say this. It's a wrap. This is why we say it. This is why we say it. And that's that. We just close out on that, man. Once again, Obadiah 1:10. For thy violence, we gotta get it's reasoning behind this. We don't hate you because like how you are. Oh yeah, because you lack pink. Oh you unlimited. This ain't our This ain't. We don't operate like you. All right, you are a retard, and I say that because you just you just damn you just weird. You know what I mean? Obadiah 1:9. Let me start from the 9. Mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. All right? For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Know the reasoning why. It's because of your violence against thy brother Jacob. All right? And violence, all right? One set of violence is what it says when you take away if you defraud someone, you are a man of blood. If you take away a neighbor's living, this is it. Sirach 34:21. The bread of the needy is their life. He that defraudeth him thereof is a man of blood. The bread of the needy is their life. So this woman was working to live. He that defraudeth him thereof is a man of blood. He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him. Many people lost their jobs due to this pandemic. Many people lost their jobs due to increase of technology. All right, many people lost their jobs due to whatever situation that you've created to take away, to slay them. All right, and he that defraudeth the laborer of his hire is a bloodshedder. So these are the different things that you've that's one way of violence. The other way of violence is using your law as a strength to exile, box us out. You had many laws. You had redlining laws. This could go on forever. All right, this is the different violence against the brother Jacob, and that's why you're gonna be cut off. So when we out there, that's not a this isn't a hate. This is a reason. This is a cause and effect. You can sit here and say and explain this in science. Hey, yes, this is the hypotenuse. Yeah, and this is the cause and this is the effect. But how come when we go on the highways and byways and we say you're gonna be destroyed, thermonuclear missiles, destruction, put in captivity and all this, you don't think that that's an effect of something you did. You just think, oh, you hate. No, there's a cause and effect. This whole life is a mathematical equation. This whole life has a response to things. All right. When a moon comes down closer to the ocean pulls away. There's like waves sent throughout the earth. Okay, like there'll be a low tide when the moon is close. Everything responds one to another. All right. The dirt lifts up a certain way right before it rains. It opens up. All right. And when the rain come down, the water come down. Okay. Then flowers bloom. Everything responds. When the flowers bloom, All right, certain insects and certain things come around, they pollinate. It just responds to each other. And you think the shit that you do has no response? That right there, and we're telling you the response of it. We're not going around chopping your head off and doing anything crazy. We're just telling you that the things that you're doing is bringing in your destruction. You bringing in your own end. And it's because of your violence against us. Not even just us. You destroy the whole world. You destroyed the last white rhino. All right, you destroyed the coral reef. You chopped down the Amazon. I mean, we got endless shit on you. You putting dust in the air. You flying mice. You experimenting on rodents and rats. You just doing whatever the hell you want. You just out of hand, man. And what we saying is, hey, yeah, we can't stop you, right? We're not saying we can stop you. We ain't even saying we trying to stop you. All we saying is that there is an effect for all of the cause you're doing, right? And that is going to bring in your destruction. With that being said, I'll say shalom. All right, Kala Yabashmiel Shabbat. Shema Karkadash. Shalom.